Today we are making Grandma's gingerbread cake, perfect for Christmas, and it's finished with a simple cream cheese frosting. I know she would love the frosting, I know she loved the cake, and let's make some together. Grandma would often make a gingerbread cake, and usually it would be around, the special time of year that we all know and love, the holidays. And what's great about gingerbread cake is it can take on a lot of different forms depending what your heritage is, what your country is, because there's different spices and add-ins. This is what my grandma always made. And what I really like about it is it's just a really delicious spiced cake with molasses. And molasses is one of my favorite things to use in the kitchen in baking. So to start, we're gonna start like we would a lot of baked goods. We're gonna use some soft butter or room temperature butter, and we're gonna put some sugar with it. And we are just gonna mix these up and cream them. Now, you're gonna notice today, I'm just using a hand mixer because super easy, but we do wanna cream it still until it's light and fluffy, and it's easier to do it with a mixer than by hand. So you can see now it's actually become lighter and fluffier, and it takes a little bit. You know, it takes longer than you think, but this is actually mixing in that sugar and the butter, aerating the butter, making it so it's much softer and nicer, and that's what you want. It makes a difference. So now we're gonna add the eggs, and we're gonna do it one by one, mixing in between. You know, it just makes it nice to do it, and it helps it incorporate evenly. These things sound annoying, and they sound like extra work. They are, but guess what? They're worth it. So I'm gonna have one in a bowl so I can easily add it, and I'm just gonna start mixing this other one in. And it will be very quick, and it will look curdled at first, but then it will come together. So now the eggs are mixed in. Doesn't look anything that great, a little bit curdled. That's normal after you add the eggs. We are gonna scrape it again just to make sure everything's incorporating, and now we're gonna add one of my favorites, molasses. I love molasses. I think it adds such a kind of a beautiful richness to it. It has a sweetness, but it's tempered with almost kind of a bitterness, I think. So it's not just like you're adding this sweet over the top. It's like a really just nice sweet. So we're gonna throw that right in there, which this is now gonna really change the dynamic of this cake. It's gonna make it now much darker. It's gonna start flavoring it. We'll mix it in. It won't look anything great, but once we get this mixed in, we can work in all the dry ingredients. Once that's all mixed in, I'm just gonna add in a little bit of vanilla. Now you don't want a lot of vanilla because you don't want it to overpower all the other spices and the flavorings we're gonna put in, but a little bit I really do think kind of tempers it out and just brings home that homey, delicious smell. So now we can worry about the dry ingredients. Now, the dry ingredients are pretty standard. It's kind of what goes into any cake. So it's gonna start with all-purpose flour. We're just gonna put that right in. And with all-purpose flour, we're gonna put in some baking soda. So we have the molasses, baking soda, and it's really the baking soda is gonna help it have a great texture, gonna give it a little bit of rise. And now we're gonna not worry about them, but we're gonna add all the spices, which to me is one of my favorite parts. So we're gonna add cinnamon. Cinnamon and ginger just work well together, and that's why we're adding both of them, because that ginger is really gonna play in with the molasses and bring home that gingerbread flavor that we want. And the cinnamon is needed as that undertone warmth. And then we need a few cloves, nothing too strong. Cloves can be overpowering, but they also add a hint of that spiciness you kind of want at Christmas. So we're gonna add those right in. And finish with, we need it, a little bit of salt. This is gonna temper everything out and just make sure all the flavorings come through. And now I'm gonna mix these up. Now while I mix these, I'm gonna be pouring in a cup of coffee. Now coffee sounds weird. The thing is, a lot of times you would think just hot water, maybe in an old recipe like this. Coffee brings out the richness of the gingerbread, brings out the richness of that molasses, and really drives home the flavor and color. It's a great little trick that makes this even just a notch up. Now, if you're gonna say, I don't like coffee, you don't taste the coffee. You don't taste the coffee in here, you can use decaf if that's the worry, but it enhances all the other flavors going on. So we're gonna start mixing and just add that right in. So doing it like this and just adding this in as I'm mixing the dry is keeping me from working in and going alternatively between dry and wet. I like to do it. You know, it worked for Grandma, it's gonna work for us too. And it really does just make it, look at the rich, beautiful color now this is. This is now to me that gingerbread color we want. It has that beautiful richness to it. And it's really a simple cake, and I think that's the important part. So the final little turn or mix, I'll just do with my spatula. I don't like to overmix if I don't have to, especially once all the flour's added. So I always just like to take my spatula and start mixing it, making sure I have everything incorporated. Because sometimes, see how when I get it up from the bottom, you get a little bit of varying color. You wanna make sure you get all that work together So bring it all up, keep stirring it, making sure you have it incorporated, and then you're ready to go. So this is now going to go into a parchment-lined baking pan. So I'm doing a parchment-lined one just because I want to be able to pull it out so you can make sure that I can show you the end result of it when I frost it and everything. You can just also do it in a 9x9 and not pull it out if you don't want to. It really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna pour it right in there, and we're just gonna make sure it all goes in. And the parchment's just gonna help me ensure that it's not sticking, it's easy to pull out. Again, if you don't wanna do that, just make sure you grease well the pan you're gonna use, and you can bake it and leave it right in there and frost it right in there. People don't realize how hard this is, but doing this away from you, where you don't see it as much, is harder than you think. So I'm gonna smooth it out, and we'll put it right into my oven. We'll bake it, and then we're gonna frost it. The gingerbread cake baked, and then I brought it out and let it cool. And you can see I tested it with a skewer. I inserted it in the middle, made sure it came out mostly clean, and it's just a beautiful color. I mean, it's gingerbread cake. That's exactly what you want. Now, a lot of times Grandma would serve this maybe with a lemon sauce. Traditionally, they could be served with a hard sauce, meaning a spiked sauce to go over the top. We're gonna do a cream cheese frosting, because why not? I think it makes it a little bit more updated maybe, but also just kind of more enjoyable sometimes for people. So we're gonna do some cream cheese and a little bit of butter, not too much butter, but it does kind of temper out the flavor of the cream cheese, I think, nicely. And I wanna mix those together until the cream cheese and the butter are kind of lighter and fluffy, because it can be hard just to mix them in before. Once that's mixed together, it just will make everything easier to now add in. So you can see how nice and light and fluffy that is. So that's why you want room temperature things to work with too, because cream cheese at first can be hard to mix in if it's really cold. So that's perfect. And now we'll add in, pretty much make a frosting. So I have some powdered sugar. Yeah, that's what makes a good frosting. We're gonna add that in. And you can always adjust, add more or less depending, on the consistency you're trying to get to. And then we're gonna add in some flavorings. Now, I mentioned a hard sauce. I am gonna add in for my flavoring some cognac. I think that lends really well with gingerbread. Now, you can of course instead add vanilla if you want to, and it will work either way. I'm gonna add in a little bit of salt, temper that out. You could even add an orange juice. That can work really well with this flavor combo. We're gonna just mix that up slowly until it's a frosting. And when that's all combined, you have a beautiful frosting. It's really simple. It's a very just kind of standard cream cheese frosting, except it has cognac in it, so it's better. Now we're gonna just take something that I can take this out on, and you can see how beautiful that is. I mean, look at that. That's a gorgeous cake. I like a simple, there's a term a lot of people use anymore, and I'm sure you've heard it, but it's a snack cake. And a snack cake is just one that goes together super quickly, can be something that you would almost make for yeah, you thought it, snack. And that's what this really can be. I'm giving this a final couple turns here with my spatula and bowl, because sometimes a few of those pieces of cream cheese may have gotten stuck to the bottom, and you want to make sure they're smooth. Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it? And so now we're gonna put this right on top. So we're gonna come over here and scrape it all out. Look at that. If that doesn't just look good, I think Grandma would have really liked a cream cheese frosting on this. I don't think she ever did that, but I think she would have liked it, because she loved this cake. She loved gingerbread. She loved anything that had those flavors in it, especially at Christmas. She always made gingerbread men and kept it simple. She didn't frost those either. She would just put a few dragées on them. So it's kind of the same thing, a simple cake. So we're gonna just spread this out, and you can see I'm just getting it out to the edges, but it's frosting, but I'm not trying to over frost it. It's just enough. And it's just working it out to the edges just to make sure everyone is getting some. So I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna grab a plate, because I'm gonna try it. And then we'll know how good it is. So now we can just take a piece and try it. What I love is this cake freezes beautifully too, and you always ask me how to freeze. When I wanna freeze something like this, I will let it cool down, obviously to room temperature, even frost it, but then put it in an airtight container. So if you don't want to have one this size, you could even have the pieces and freeze them individually, just whatever works for you. But then look at this beautiful cake. It is so moist. You see how it's almost, it's moist, but not too dense. It's just beautiful. And this is what I love about it. I love the simplicity of it. I like a crust piece personally always. To me, I like that texture on the edge versus the center. It's beautiful. I love it. What I like is it has a lot of flavor. It's not just like first biting you in the face with being sweet. You get the flavor of that like rich molasses in it. Then you get notes of those spices that start coming through. And it actually is tempered nicely with the cream cheese frosting. This isn't like an overly sweet cake, so that cream cheese frosting actually really nicely complements it as opposed to just being sweet on sweet on sweet. It's almost a cake with complexity, nuances, and layers of flavor. It's a grandma cake, meaning it's one that has a lot of goodness to it, a lot of richness and beautiful flavor qualities, not just a blah white cake. That's what I like about it. So what do I hope you do with this? I hope you try something new. I hope you enjoy, I wanna show you the center of it too again. I hope you enjoy something like this that can have a dense richness to it, a beauty to it, and yet be really festive for the season. You can dress this up with sugared cranberries if you want to. You can put some holly around it to make it seasonal. Share this recipe around because that's the point of the season, is sharing these delicious recipes, sharing the food, making food together, having people over and enjoying it together. Check my website, wiseguy.com, for this video and recipe and all my other recipes. They're all on there and can be printed off. Until next time, have a good Christmas and enjoy something delicious.